I, 29 male, moved in with my girlfriend Autumn, 26, about 8 months ago. We've been dating for over a year. Things seemed solid. The apartment is pretty nice, 2-bedroom, decent neighborhood. Rents $1,800 per month. Here's the thing, though. The lease is entirely in my name. Autumn wanted to be on it initially, but her credit score was not great. Like 580, not great. So I signed solo. She moved in, and we split everything 50-50ths. Worked fine. Until last Tuesday. I'm working from home. Typical day, when Autumn comes storming in around 3 p.m. She's got this weird energy, like she's been psyching herself up for something. "We need to talk," she says, sitting down across from me at the kitchen table. "Okay, what's up?" "My brother Damien needs a place to stay. He's moving in next week." I blink. "What? Since when?" "Since his girlfriend kicked him out. He's got nowhere to go." Trevor. Family helps family. Now, I've met Damien, 24, exactly 3 times. Each encounter was memorable. First time, he showed up drunk to Autumn's birthday dinner, hit on the waitress, and stiffed us on his portion of the bill. Second time, he borrowed Autumn's car and returned it with a dent and an empty gas tank. Third time, he came to our housewarming party, ate most of the food, and left with 2 bottles of wine that guests had brought. Autumn, we didn't discuss this. Where's he going to sleep? The spare room is my office. He can sleep on the couch for now. We'll figure it out. For how long? She shrugged. Until he gets back on his feet. Couple months, maybe. What about rent? Utilities? Food? That's when her expression changed. Got this entitled look I'd never seen before. Trevor, he's my brother. He's family. We're not going to charge him rent while he's struggling. Besides, you make good money. We can handle it. Wait, we can handle it? Autumn, I'm not supporting your brother. If he moves in, he needs to contribute. Her face went red. He doesn't have a job right now. His ex took everything. You're being selfish. How is expecting a grown man to contribute to household expenses selfish? Because he's family. When you love someone, you help their family. God, Trevor, I thought you were different. I thought you actually cared about me. The manipulation was so blatant, it was almost funny. Almost. Of course I care about you. But moving someone in without discussing it, expecting me to foot the bill, that's not reasonable. It's temporary, and it's not like you can't afford it. What's an extra few hundred a month to you? An extra few hundred. For someone who'd never contributed anything but drama to any situation I'd witnessed. Autumn, the answer is no. He's not moving in. She stood up so fast the chair scraped. Fine. Then I'll move out. Me and Damien will find our own place. Okay, I said calmly. If that's what you want. She clearly expected me to back down, to panic about her leaving. When I didn't, she got even angrier. You're really going to choose money over our relationship? I'm choosing not to enable a grown man who refuses to take responsibility for his life. And I'm not choosing money over our relationship. You are, by making financial demands and ultimatums. She stormed out. Didn't come back that night. Next morning, I get a text. Talk to Damien. We decided he's moving in Saturday, whether you like it or not. It's happening. That's when I knew we were done. Not just because of Damien, but because of the complete disrespect. The assumption that she could override my decision about MY apartment. The entitlement. The manipulation. I replied, "No, he's not. This is my apartment on my lease." Her response, "We live together. I have rights. You can't stop me from having family over." Having family visit is different from moving someone in permanently. And you're right, you do have rights. As my girlfriend, not as a tenant. Damien is not moving in. Yes, he is. Tomorrow. Deal with it. That afternoon, I went to the leasing office. Talked to the property manager. Explained the situation. Asked about adding Autumn to the lease. Well, she'd have to apply and pass the credit check, the manager said. But if you want to remove yourself and transfer the lease to her, that's possible. She'd have to qualify on her own income, though. What's the income requirement? 3 times the monthly rent. So for your unit, $5,400 monthly gross income. Autumn made maybe $2,800 a month at her retail management job. And if she doesn't qualify, then the lease transfer wouldn't be approved. You'd remain responsible. I thanked him and left. Went home and did some thinking. Friday morning, Autumn texted, Damien will be here tomorrow at noon with his stuff. Clear out your office. I replied, no. Stop being a dick. He's coming whether you like it or not. I already told him yes. Then you made a promise you can't keep. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm going to the leasing office this afternoon to transfer the lease to your name only. If you want Damien to move in so badly, you can handle the rent yourself. My phone immediately started ringing. Declined a call. Then another. Declined. Text. You can't do that. Actually, I can. The lease is in my name. I can request a transfer. I won't qualify. Then I guess Damien won't be moving in after all. Trevor, this isn't funny. Call me. I didn't call. Went to the leasing office instead. Update 1. The leasing office appointment went exactly as expected. Autumn couldn't qualify for the lease transfer. Not even close. Her credit score was still garbage, and her income was barely half the requirement. But here's the thing about lease transfers in my state. If the current tenant wants out and the remaining occupant can't qualify, the landlord can still approve a month-to-month agreement at a higher rate while requiring the original tenant to provide notice to vacate. I filled out the paperwork to terminate my tenancy effective end of month. The property manager explained to Autumn, who showed up halfway through, panicked and furious, that she could stay on a month-to-month basis at $2,400 per month instead of $1,800, but she'd need to provide first month, last month, and a security deposit totaling $7,200 within 72 hours. Autumn's face went white. I don't have $7,000. Then I'm afraid you'll need to vacate with Mr. Trevor when his lease ends, the manager said. That's when Damien showed up. Remember, this was supposed to be his moving day. He came walking into the leasing office with 2 trash bags and a duffel bag. Apparently his entire worldly possessions. What's going on? Autumn said I could move in today. The manager looked confused. Sir, are you planning to reside in the unit? Yeah, my sister said it was cool. Are you employed? Damien shifted uncomfortably. I'm between jobs right now. I see. Well, any additional occupant needs to be approved through our application process. There's a $150 application fee, and we'll need proof of income. I told you I don't have a job right now. The manager's professional smile never wavered. Then I'm afraid you wouldn't qualify to be added to any lease agreement. Autumn jumped in. He's not paying rent. He's just staying temporarily. Ma'am, any occupant staying longer than 14 days needs to be on the lease or approved as an authorized resident. It's in your lease agreement. I almost felt bad. Almost. Then I remembered it's happening whether you like it or not. Autumn started crying. Right there in the leasing office. Big, dramatic tears. Trevor, please. You're ruining everything. Damien has nowhere to go. He's your family, I said. You'll figure it out. That's when Damien tried to act tough. Dude, you're really going to kick out your girlfriend over this? I'm not kicking anyone out. I'm moving out. You're welcome to take over the lease if you can qualify. I don't have that kind of money. Then I guess that's your problem. The manager cleared his throat. Folks, I'm going to need to ask you to continue this discussion outside. We have other appointments. As we walked out, Autumn grabbed my arm. Trevor, wait. Can we talk? Privately, I looked at Damien, who was standing there with his trash bags looking lost. Your brother can hear whatever you want to say. Fine. I'll tell him he can't move in. Is that what you want? I'll choose you over him. Too little too late. The disrespect was already done. The entitlement was already shown. The lease transfer paperwork is filed. I'm moving out in 2 weeks. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. You made your choice when you tried to force Damien on me. Actions have consequences. She started crying harder. Damien put his arm around her. This is messed up, man. She's your girlfriend. She was my girlfriend. Now she's someone who tried to manipulate me into supporting her deadbeat brother. Big difference. I left them there in the parking lot and went home to start packing. Update 2. Found a decent 1-bedroom place across town. Put down the deposit the same day. Told my landlord I'd be out in 10 days instead of the full 2 weeks. Autumn came home that evening with puffy eyes and an attitude. Damien was with her, naturally. I can't believe you're really doing this, she said. Doing what? Refusing to enable your brother's laziness. He's not lazy. He's going through a hard time. I looked at Damien. When's the last time you had a job? That's none of your business. Actually, it became my business when your sister demanded I financially support you. So when... Silence. Autumn answered for him. He was laid off in March. It was now October. 7 months of unemployment. In this job market, what kind of work do you do? I asked. Different stuff. Whatever pays. Are you actively looking for work? Yeah, man. It's just hard out there. Show me your recent applications. What? Your job applications. Indeed account. LinkedIn. Whatever you're using to look for work. More silence. It doesn't have to prove anything to you. Autumn snapped. You're right. He doesn't. But you demanded I support him, so I'm entitled to know what I'd be supporting. Turns out it's a grown man who can't be bothered to look for work. Damien finally spoke up. Jobs don't grow on trees, bro. They do if you actually look for them. There are hiring signs everywhere. I'm not working fast food. And there it was. Too good for entry-level work while expecting others to fund his lifestyle. Then I guess you'll stay unemployed and homeless. Autumn lost it. Started screaming about how I was heartless, how I never cared about her family, how I was abandoning her when she needed me most. I needed you to respect my boundaries, I said calmly. Instead, you trampled them and made demands. This is the consequence. That night, I slept in my office/soon-to-be Damien's room with the door locked. Woke up to them whispering in the kitchen about making me pay and teaching me a lesson. Time to accelerate the moving timeline. Called in sick to work the next day and hired movers. Had everything packed and loaded by noon. Left my key on the counter with a note. Lease transfer paperwork is with the office. You have until the end of the month to figure out your housing situation. Good luck. I was officially out. The calls started immediately. Autumn, then Damien, then Autumn's mom, who I'd met twice. All demanding I fix the situation and be reasonable. I blocked them all. Update 3. 2 weeks later, I got a text from my old property manager. Hey, Trevor, want to give you a heads up? Your former roommate didn't make the payment deadline. We've started eviction proceedings. Since you officially moved out and transferred liability, this won't affect you, but thought you should know. I thanked him and asked how long eviction usually takes. Standard 30-day notice, but it can be expedited if they abandon the property or don't contest. Could be as fast as 2 weeks. Autumn had lasted exactly 14 days trying to afford the place on her own. I was curious, so I drove by the apartment complex the next weekend. Saw a notice taped to the door, official eviction papers. The blinds were closed, but I could see moving boxes stacked by the windows. My phone had been blissfully quiet since I blocked them all, but I've been getting random calls from unknown numbers. Finally answered one. Trevor? This is Autumn's mom, Linda. We need to talk. No, we don't. You can't just abandon my daughter like this. I didn't abandon anyone. I removed myself from a situation where I was being manipulated and taken advantage of. She's being evicted. She has nowhere to go. She had multiple options. She chose to prioritize her brother's comfort over our relationship and her own housing stability. Damien is family, and I'm not. You've made that clear. You were supposed to take care of her. The entitlement was apparently genetic. I was supposed to be her partner, not her bank account. She decided I was just a resource to exploit for her family's benefit. She loves you. She loves what I could provide. There's a difference. Please, Trevor. She's learned her lesson. She'll do anything to fix this. It's too late for that. I hung up and blocked that number 2. Update 4. Got the full story from my former property manager when I stopped by to get my security deposit check. Autumn and Damien had been evicted after exactly 16 days in the apartment alone. They'd trashed the place, holes in walls, carpet stains, broken fixtures. My full security deposit was forfeited, but since I'd officially moved out before the damage occurred, I wasn't liable for anything beyond that. What happened in there? I asked. Well, from what the maintenance guys told me, it looked like someone threw a pretty serious tantrum. Fist holes in the drywall, broken bathroom mirror, kitchen cabinet doors ripped off hinges. Had to call it a total renovation. The property manager handed me a folder. This was left behind. Has your name on it. Inside was a handwritten letter. From Autumn. 3 pages of alternating between apologies and blame. Some highlights. I know you think I chose Damien over you, but that's not what happened. He's my brother, and he needed help. I thought you loved me enough to understand that. You could have worked with me instead of just abandoning us. We could have set rules for Damien, made it temporary, figured something out. But you just gave up. I hope you're happy now. Because of your selfishness, we're both homeless. Damien is sleeping in his car, and I'm on Mom's couch. Was proving your point worth destroying our lives? Everyone says I'm better off without someone so cold and heartless. Maybe they're right. Maybe I deserve someone who actually cares about family. The victim mentality was strong till the end. No acknowledgement that she'd created this situation with her. Demands and ultimatums. No recognition that her brother's refusal to work was the core problem. Just blame and manipulation attempts. I threw the letter away. But the story doesn't end there. Final update. Life moved on. New apartment is great, smaller but quieter, and it's actually mine. Started dating someone new a few months ago, Rachel. She's got her own place, her own career, and when I told her the Autumn/Damien story, her response was, "Good for you for not enabling that nonsense." Found out through mutual friends what happened after the eviction. Autumn moved back in with her parents. Apparently that lasted about a month before they kicked her out too. Seems she expected them to support both her and Damien indefinitely. Her dad put his foot down when Damien started bringing random people over and treating their house like a crash pad. She's been couch surfing since then, staying with various friends until they get tired of her victim act and drama. Last I heard, she was working 2 part-time retail jobs, trying to save up for a deposit on a studio apartment. Damien? Still unemployed. Still between opportunities. Still too good for entry-level work. He's been sleeping in his car on and off, occasionally crashing with whatever girl he can manipulate into feeling sorry for him. Heard from someone that he got arrested for shoplifting a few weeks back. Classy. The best part? Autumn apparently tells everyone that I ruined her life and destroyed her credit with the eviction, because taking responsibility would require admitting she made terrible choices. Her mom, Linda, still calls occasionally from different numbers, trying to guilt me into helping Autumn get back on her feet. The calls are getting less frequent as reality sets in. She's learned her lesson, Trevor. She knows family can't come before relationships now. That's great for her future relationships. Doesn't change anything for me. Don't you miss her at all? Honestly? No. I missed who I thought she was before I saw the entitlement and manipulation. But that person might never have existed. I miss the illusion, I told Linda. I don't miss the reality. Last week, I ran into Autumn at a grocery store. She looked rough, tired, stressed, like she'd aged years and months. She saw me, and her face went through about 5 different emotions. Trevor, flat voice. Autumn, awkward silence. How are you doing? She asked, like we were old acquaintances instead of former lovers. Good. You? I'm managing. Got my own place now. Studio, but it's mine. That's good. More silence. I could see her wrestling with whether to say more. I know you probably don't want to hear this, but I'm sorry for how everything went down. I should have talked to you instead of just deciding things. It was the closest to taking responsibility I'd ever heard from her. I appreciate that, I said. I hope things work out for you. They are. Slowly. I had to learn some hard lessons about depending on people. She paused. Damien's getting his life together too. He's got a job now. Construction. That's good for him. Yeah. Turns out when no one's enabling you, you figure things out pretty quick. There was something bitter in her voice, like she resented having to learn that lesson the hard way. We said goodbye politely. I haven't seen her since. The thing is, I don't feel vindicated or triumphant about how it all played out. Autumn's struggles don't make me happy, but I don't feel guilty either. She made her choices, I made mine. She prioritized her brother's comfort over our relationship and demanded I fund both their lifestyles. When I refused, she doubled down with ultimatums and manipulation. The consequences she faced weren't my revenge. They were just reality catching up. When you choose to prioritize someone who won't work over someone who pays the bills, you lose the person paying the bills. When you make ultimatums, you have to be prepared for the other person to choose the option you don't want. She thought I'd cave because breaking up would be harder than just accepting Damien as a permanent fixture. She calculated wrong. I'm not the villain in her story. despite what she tells people. I'm just someone who refused to be taken advantage of. Sometimes that's enough.